Get ready for the Squawking Eagles podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles podcast.
Good morning, Birds fans, and welcome to the Squawking Eagles podcast. I am Mike, and I'm joined again by Miguel and Mark. How's it going, fellas?
Hello, hello.
What's going on? The Eagles walking into the room like Roman Reigns. Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge, yeah, that is a theme I think that has been all this week is the Eagles need to be acknowledged. So we will definitely dig deep into that whole, I guess what we call it maybe hate or disrespect that the Eagles have had over the course of this past week. I've noticed even most since the beginning of the season. I think this week has been the most of that. We already previewed. We reviewed the Texans game, and we will preview the Commanders game tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, where Mark will be there, right, Mark?
I will be there. Go Birds.
Bundled up. 28 degree weather.
Bundled up, shorts and a t-shirt, man. You know,
Right.
Jersey's good enough.
Yeah, right. And then we'll discuss some topics that I posted on our Instagram that we can discuss here.
Agreed.
So if you want to follow us on Instagram, we're at Squawking Eagles, and you can follow us on YouTube. We post our simulation of the week's game at Squawking Eagles podcast on YouTube. So let's start out. Mark, what do you think about this week where the Eagles, I would say, were disrespected with continuously saying that they have the easiest schedule. They haven't played anybody. They're going to lose the rest of the season because now they're going to start playing teams. They haven't done anything. What's your take?
What day of the week is it?
It is Sunday.
What happens
Game
on Sunday?
day.
The Eagles win.
What happens every Sunday? Football.
We win.
Football happens
Football.
every Sunday, and the statement, it stands. I don't care who you're playing, any given Sunday. You know, we have seen top teams fall. We've seen teams win. I mean, now every team in the league, except I believe it's us and the Vikings, have 2 or more losses.
Right.
And the Vikings' only loss is the Birds, here in Philadelphia. Like, you can say what you want. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we haven't had the toughest schedule. Fine, that's great. It doesn't change the fact that we're all professionals playing in this league. I mean, a year ago, what were the Jets in that division? They just beat Buffalo. And I know they now granted, I'm not saying Josh Allen's not hurt. Okay, I understand that they're looking at his elbow. But, I mean, the moment the game ended, I heard commentary go, oh, yeah, well, since the second quarter, he's been grabbing his elbow. And that, when Josh Allen's not in true form.
Right. All the excuses come out.
But what did I say? Was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago? I made the comment that I've watched Josh Allen since college. And I've said if you get him up against a defense where he is getting attacked, he doesn't play well. Jets defense has done a really good job attacking quarterbacks this year. It's kind of one of the main reasons they're winning games. How does Josh Allen play against the first defense he comes up against that he gets attacked? Actually, I guess it's the second because Miami kind of did something similar to him early, although they weren't quite as good about it. Their offense was just better. He didn't play as well. It's just the way it is. And if he is hurt, I'm not saying he's not. Again, he hurt up his elbow. Get it right, bud. But again, it's one of those things where one player shouldn't make the team. I understand that's not always a thing. I know people quarterback's the most important, and that's great. He was healthy enough to play. The team's still there. You still lost. You still lost to the Jets. I know they're doing better this year, but you still lost to the Jets. We, on the other hand, we lost. Oh, we didn't lose. We didn't lose. I forgot about that. We beat other undefeated teams and took away their undefeated schedule. No, again, it doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. You go and disrespect us, fine. We'll be the underdogs. I've said it before. We're a blue-collar city. We're all about our sports teams. I've heard it now in hockey, in baseball, in football, even basketball. I've seen players, fans, like, your city's different. You guys act differently towards it. I was listening to the Heights New Heights podcast. Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey did a special show with Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Even Jalen Hurts was like, "Man, I've been at games, Auburn, Alabama." He's like, "But Philly's different." He's like, "We're playing a nobody who, like, you chalk up any one of the leagues, like, oh, that's a win." and Philly still shows up. We're still there hounding them because we know we're not, we know this isn't, college. This isn't, a cupcake game. Just because you're playing, a team with one win, Houston, you're going to get the best. They're still professional players. They're still going to come out. Damian Pierce had the best game against us running wise almost all season. I mean, they're going to come out to play. They're still NFL players. It's a pretty, you play every team, play each other 10 times a season. No team goes undefeated. You don't play one team 10 times and win every game. It just doesn't happen because this is the NFL. This isn't a situation like college where you have players at such different skill levels. So go ahead, say it's the easiest schedule. Oh, it's easy. That's like saying, oh well, your whole life things were easier just because you went on a different path. But like, it's still a challenge. It's not like it's everything was just handed to us. We're still fighting. We're still going out there scoring. We're still stopping defenses. Or our defense is still stopping offenses. Like, you got to show up. You got to play. Doesn't matter who you're playing. You got to do it. So hate on us. I don't care.
Yeah, like I said last week, is that teams are going to show up. That's going to be their Super Bowl. They're going to play to their utmost ability, and they're going to throw everything they got at the Eagles. What do you think, Miguel? The Eagles are undefeated. They have teams who are supposed to be the upper echelon of the NFL. The Chiefs, the Chargers, supposed to be the upper echelon. The Raiders, because of the staff that they had on the team last year. And even the Bills, everybody loves Josh Allen, right, Mark? Everybody loves Josh Allen.
Everyone loves Josh Allen. He is the best player in the world. He is the greatest quarterback. We should all bow to him. Oh my God, Tampa just scored another touchdown.
Why, Miguel? Why do you think the Eagles are getting the disrespect just this week, alone? Why?
Well, it's the same for me. It's the same reason that I said last week. It's just national media just loves to pick at Philadelphia, because Philadelphia, when you write something bad about Philadelphia on the internet, it's going to get clicks, and that's why they do it. They're going to get views because Philadelphia fans are so passionate. It doesn't matter what you're saying about them. They're going to tune in. They're going to find out what you said, and then when they run into you, they're going to make you feel bad for what you said, depending on if it was a bad thing. A lot of talk that I heard this week is this is a trap game. That the Eagles have a soft schedule, yet alone we beat the Vikings, who are 7-1. You know what I mean?
Since we lost to them.
Yeah, since we beat them, they haven't lost yet. So, I mean, what's that say? We beat one of the top 5 teams in the league right now. They give all this respect to the Giants and to the Jets. Those teams have a soft schedule as well. The Giants have a similar schedule than us, so why are they getting flown over under the radar, and over here we're getting picked on because we have a soft schedule? You know what I mean? And
yeah.
To me, it's just media wants Philadelphia to respond to their bad criticisms, just like last week when I pointed out what Emilio Acho said about Jalen Hurts, the same way that when Mark said about I forget who he brought up earlier in this topic here, but it's just we constantly see that around Philadelphia teams. No matter if it's the Eagles, the Phillies, the Sixers, the Flyers, no matter who it is, Philadelphia always in the national media always get a bad look, and or get a bad view, or say that we're not enough, because I feel like national media wants us to tune in and find out what they have to say. Just like what's his name? Colin Hurd. He's is that his name? Colin
Cowherd. Yep.
Yeah.
So
can't stand that guy.
He's a Dallas fan. He says this crazy shit that he gets just disrespectful on his show and talks about Philadelphia. Why does he do it? Because he knows Philadelphia fans are they're gonna click in and see what he has to say. They're gonna react to his ass, right?
Right.
So
I don't know if I'd say he's a Cowboys fan, but if you really know, he loves the Niners. He can't get enough of Jimmy G, which also that's another one I just don't get. He might like some others as well, but
let's talk about I like to just go back to the Cowboys because everybody loves the Cowboys, America's team and all. Their schedule, they're 6-2. Okay, their first game they scored 0 touchdowns against the 4-5 now Buccaneers. Okay, then they win by 3 to the Bengals, who are 5-4. They only beat them by 3 points. Then they beat the Giants, who, the Giants, they only beat Daniel Jones by 7 points. All right, that's 7.
But it was with Cooper Rush, so it's different.
Right, and then they beat Carson Wentz. Again, Cooper Rush. They love their Cooper Rush. Then they beat the struggling 3-5 Rams. Right, so
yeah, but they're defending Super Bowl champs, remember? So that's really
another excuse, right?
Don't mind.
And they lost to the new Eagles, right? I guess so. Before anything,
you don't lose to the Eagles. That's a fluke if you're a Cowboy.
Right, it's a fluke, right?
Yeah.
And then they score 24 on the worst defense in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, and then they allow 29 points at home to the Bears.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Who's to say that the Eagles have the easiest schedule? Look at the Cowboys. Cowboys should be technically 8-0 if they have the schedule like ours, right? But yet, who'd they lose to?
But remember they've got they don't have a quarter. Remember they didn't have their quarterback, and granted they also said Jalen Hurts wasn't a starter and all that.
Right.
But
They also loved Cooper Rush. They loved Cooper Rush until he lost to the Eagles. They loved him until that.
That is how it goes. Granted, I mean they should win today. I mean they're playing the Packers, who, let's be honest, aren't a team in this league.
Listen to this: the Packers, the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team have more wins in October than the Packers.
Wow,
that's a bad thing. That's
and the Brewers' season ended on October 5th.
Yeah,
that is wild. That is wild.
Yeah, so and then the following week, that's when I guess we really start to finally get some telling information. Cowboys play the Vikings next week. You know, how's that going to go? We'll see how the Vikings do today. I think the Vikings play Buffalo today, right?
I think so. Did you catch Kirk Cousins on the airplane with the thug chains and the dancing?
I did. They call Bro Cousins.
What is that? What's going on? Is he okay?
You know what? I think
Miguel's just shaking his head.
He's just trying to be the cool guy.
But he's not.
Now he is.
He's vanilla. He's vanilla Kirk Cousins. That's all he is.
Hey,
I mean,
all he's gonna be.
Look, his only loss is to an undefeated Eagles team. I'd be pretty hyped if I was him too.
But again, let's talk. He's just Kirk Cousins. Like he does this. Like he goes on these runs where they win all these games. But then when primetime Kirk Cousins is not so great.
That's why.
We're not on. He didn't play primetime, did he?
Well, he did Monday night. What happened?
Oh,
Eagles beat him.
But I'm saying, but since then, no, he hasn't played. Oh, yeah, he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't look too good. He didn't look too good last week, but he got that. They lucky they got that win in. But I think they over celebrated. I think they lose today. To be honest with you.
Yeah. After that kind of celebration.
Yeah, I think they overdo it.
I hope not.
Hey.
I would love to see that win.
Right.
That'd be great.
You would love to see who win that game.
The Vikings. Why not?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, they'll be like, Buffalo's still number 2. Buffalo's, it was a fluke because, Josh Allen's hurt. The team can't win without him. Well, then it's not a team. It's a one-man show.
It's not a team.
You got to figure it out. Like, we're wrong.
That all goes back to, good teams, right? Super Bowl contenders beat bad teams, regardless of what attrition they face in that game, right?
Right.
And the Eagles have done that. No matter what attrition they face in the game, at the end of the day, they win the game up 17 points, pretty much. There hasn't been. Oh boy, there's Mr. Vanilla Cousins.
Bro Cousins hanging out.
Bro Cousins.
He wants to be part of the podcast. I hear
he is.
He's cheering. That's what he's looking like. He's thinking, they're going, hey, I got to play a banged up Josh Allen. It's not prime time. Let's get it.
Right.
Actually, is it the night game? I don't even know.
No, it's not.
Oh, then it actually is a game then.
Yeah, I think they're on 1.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right, so I posed this question on our Instagram page. The question was, if the Eagles, like you were talking about the Super Bowl contenders, if the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl, is this season a disappointment? Agree or disagree? Miguel.
Well, no. How do you guys feel about what the Phillies did in the World Series? We weren't supposed to be there either, right? We were counted out.
Yeah.
We were never supposed to be there. And
I'm excited about the Phillies. I'm disappointed in Rhys Hoskins.
I agree.
Rhys Hoskins did exactly what I knew Rhys Hoskins would do.
I don't want to pay $7 million to hit a baseball if they can't hit a baseball.
Or how
Look,
about catch a baseball?
I know I'm not a professional,
And
but
clutch.
I'll
clutch
bet you throw that many
Yeah,
pitches my
exactly.
way, I'll hit one.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
go
I
ahead,
mean
Miguel.
that whole team. Well, not to get into baseball talk, but a lot of it wasn't just Reese Hoskins that bat went cold that whole series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he missed
So,
the biggest opportunities.
yeah,
He got
but yeah,
bases loaded multiple times. You got so many people out there. Just get a single. Just get on
yeah.
base.
But what
Just get
happened to
on base and we
Realmuto?
score.
Realmuto has big money too. He was his bat
And
went
Muto hit
silent.
more than he did.
True,
All right.
but
Look, I'm gonna say Muto did a great job, but he at least hit a ball in multiple games.
Everybody knows how to get Reese Hoskins out. You throw a curveball or slider outside, he'll swing at it every single time.
yeah, chase him. Yeah,
He
he's
chases
chasing.
him.
But to get back to
Yeah.
what you
So
said,
Eagles, if they make the Super Bowl, is it a disappointment
If we don't make the
season?
Super Bowl,
If they don't,
listen, you start off every year. The goal is to win the Super Bowl, no matter what. No matter how bad you think your team is, you always motivate them enough to, hey, we're gonna do our best to get to the Super Bowl, and that's the goal. Sirianni and their staff has taught this team the mentality of one game at a time, 1-0 every week, and I feel like they're going to continue with that consistency for the rest of the season. And I think if we do make it to the Super Bowl, if we don't make it to the Super Bowl, it'll be very disappointing. But going into the season, did we really see ourselves getting to the Super Bowl? I mean, I don't even think our Super Bowl predictions, Mike, at the beginning of the season had the Eagles in them at all.
they were not. You know,
I'm a raise my hat because I said Jalen Hurts for MVP.
Right.
So that right now has come to fruition, and that's been the hot topic all week. You saw him on the Jason Kelsey podcast. Multiple podcasts around on out there have Jalen Hurts within the MVP conversation right now. But if we don't make the Super Bowl, it's going to hurt because we are undefeated at this moment.
well,
And-
that leads into that other question: is that if the Eagles complete the undefeated season, is Jalen Hurts MVP?
Yes,
Agree or disagree?
agree.
Yeah. Miguel, what about you, Mark?
so for one, the start of the season, I felt very uneasy because I have it right here in front of me now. I have a playoff predictor that a buddy sent me, and I used it. You don't look at anything except that each week it shows you the schedule of each week. When you're done in the week, you hit next, you go to the next week. My friends and I did this kind of without looking multiple times. I'm going back over it right now, and ran into a specific issue with the fact that I continuously had the Eagles with 13 wins, and I just have always had an issue with preseason getting super hyped about a team. I don't care if they're last year's Super Bowl champs, looking at you, the Rams, or other teams. Like, I don't like looking at a team and going, oh, they're going to be great this year. Like, I'm okay with, a decent season, 10 wins, okay, season, but 13, 14, like I kept coming up with those numbers, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Why am I getting it? Because, maybe the schedule is easy. I don't know. Well, now I'm looking back over it and I see the way we're playing, and I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, it's not impossible for us to go undefeated. I'm looking at who we're facing, in the NFC. You got the Vikings, who are going to be an issue when it comes to the playoffs. For some reason, the hype is on San Fran, and I'll be honest, as much as I don't believe Tampa's a threat because they've looked like shit, Tom Brady, if he makes the playoffs, is Tom Brady in the playoffs. That's a different story. If we don't win the Super Bowl, I won't say it's a disappointment because preseason, I didn't feel good about our quarterback, to be honest. I didn't know what Jalen Hurts we were going to get. So, going off my preseason predictions, if we don't make it, I'm not upset. Looking at it now, looking at who we're facing, if everyone stays healthy, I would be a little disheartened if we don't make the Super Bowl. Whether or not we win, it's a different story, but I think we should at least make it on the on the NFC side, looking at what's out there. As for undefeated season, I don't think a team's performance dictates the MVP. As much as I think Hurts is having a phenomenal season, there's a difference. There really is. There are players who come out and they change the way a team's culture is. And right now, I mean, granted, today's not looking like it, but I would have said, if you asked me 2 days ago, I would have said right now, probably Geno Smith. The man's over 70% completion percentage. The Seahawks were expected to be a down and out team. I'm pretty sure they're leading their division, and they're looking really good for a team everyone thought was kind of, chalk that up as an easy win. They've got Geno Smith at quarterback. Guy definitely deserves comeback player of the year, in my opinion.
Sure.
If he continues, if they pull out the win today, unless I check they're losing, if they pull out the win and they continue being as good as they've been, particularly him, and again, that's my thing, is that the MVP is a personal accolade. I know some people get really hype on it, some people don't. I personally don't care. It's a cool thing. It's a cool piece of hardware. Give me the ring. Give me the big trophy in the ring. I don't give a shit about the others. And I think that's the Eagles' mindset. Better yet, let Jalen have a great season and snub him. See how he'll come out next year. I'm okay with that. Continue to give Philly the underdog mentality, because when we won the Super Bowl the following season, we weren't quite given that mentality. Our team kind of felt a little hot, and things have kind of cooled off a bit. And suddenly we're back in this, like, everyone's like, oh, the Eagles, they're not as good as they are. Yeah, it's an easy schedule. Give us the underdog mentality. Don't give us the MVP. Make us want to eat it. Make us want to come out there and prove you that we're wrong, and I think we'll be better for it. So,
Do they announce MVP winner before the playoffs start?
I don't believe it. And they do it before the Super Bowl, but after the playoffs.
Right before the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think it's right before the Super Bowl.
I was hoping they would announce it and then Jalen gets stubbed, because then I would put money saying that now we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Right, yeah.
I feel like he would take it personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, this guy, look at the jump he's taken this year, man. You make a great statement. Geno Smith has done a terrific job out there. I cannot deny that. But can you take Geno off that team and plug in another quarterback, and can they have that same success, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Can you take Jalen out and put somebody else in there? Let's say Minshew. You think we have that same success?
I don't.
I don't either. So to me, MVP is the one person you can take off your team and not have the same result. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The most important person. And I don't think you take Jalen off this team, we're not sitting at 8-0 right now. There's no way.
No, I agree, but I think you take Geno off the Seahawks, and I don't think they've got 6 wins either. I think there's a huge disparity there. I think you're going to see the same thing here with a lot of teams. You take them at the starting quarterback, teams aren't going to perform as well. The Eagles, we have a good history. Our backup quarterback won us a Super Bowl. We know how to utilize a good backup. Oh, hello, I got a little visitor here for a second. Hi.
I wanted to just hi.
Say hi.
Welcome to the pod.
We were talking about, like, in the beginning of the season, we were talking about the what the Eagles' record was going to be, and I said they're going to be they're going to have 10 wins, and now they're too shy of what I've already predicted. So, are the Eagles going to lose the rest of win 2 more games and lose the rest of the season? I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. A lot of people on Instagram are answering these questions, and they're saying that the Eagles, they have another 16 wins maybe. They'll lose the last 2 games when nobody's playing. Maybe they'll lose to the Giants and the Saints, only because Minshew is going to be in there, right? The Minshew will be playing. No, they have to actually. They have to beat the Saints. They
need a top 5 pick.
Yeah. Say we go 17-0. We got the last game to play. Do we sit our starters and let our backups try to win, or do we go for the whole undefeated?
I would say if we have a loss, let's say we go to let's say, God forbid, we go to Dallas, we lose the game. I said we bench our because that's the most likely scenario. If you're looking at it's the most likely scenario for us to lose the game. If we lose that, we will bench final game. No risk to injury if we're guaranteed playoff.
All right, say we lock in the number 1 seed. Do we?
If we're undefeated, we can't. That's it. That we have to go for the first team in NFL history.
No team has gone undefeated wire to wire since 1972. Wire to wire, like you can't.
We have a longer season than any ever before us. You can't do it. You got to go for it. And I will say also, I wanted to make a mention. This is the other reason I was going to say. I said Geno earlier. as of now, yardage wise, yes, Jalen Hurts has looked better, but overall numbers, Aaron Rodgers has still outperformed Jalen, where Geno Smith's outperformed Aaron. So again, like I said, patch for pat, yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts doesn't deserve it. I think he does. I think he's up there, definitely in the talk. But I think overall, our team is a great team. I would not say Seattle's a great team. I would say there's a lot of problems with Seattle. I am shocked at how well they're doing. I'm not looking at our schedule again. If you were to sub, let's say Hurts didn't play those. Let's say he gets hurt early and we've got Minshew. No, we're not 8-0. But I think we're winning. I think we have a winning record. I really do. I don't think the Seahawks are without Geno. If he goes down, they don't have a winning record. Pat Mahomes goes down, Chiefs still probably have a winning record. Josh Allen goes down, they should still have a winning record. I would say if Joe Burrow goes down, they should have a winning record, but Joe Burrow goes down every single week with the most sacks, so I don't know what's going on there. Chargers, same way. I mean, for as shitty as they've been, if Justin Herbert goes down, that team's tanked. There's nothing left.
Yeah, Chase Daniels, their backup. They're not going to be.
Chase Daniels going to be spending the whole life running. Herbert's already running. He can just make the plays. Kyler Murray goes down. That team's already kind of hit or miss. I don't even know who would be their backup right now. I kind of lost track of that. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is as high as everyone rates him. Looking at that as well. Looking at all these, a lot of these players, if they get benched or if they get hurt, I think for the most part the teams do okay without them. They really do. But I think for a few of them, particularly as I said, Seattle, I think that's held together by that quarterback.
I agree.
As much as I love Hurts, I think, and I'm not a big fan of Geno Smith. I'm just saying he's just put up a season. No one else in the league has a 70% completion percentage. Nope, I apologize. No one has over 70 like he does.
Here's a question for you. If they swap Geno for Russell Wilson, are they the same teams? Are the Broncos better? The Broncos better with that? No?
No, because Nathaniel Hackett does not play football. Or does not coach football. He's
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Bro, look, I understand that Russell Wilson's a little Russell Wilson this year. You're not using them right. I mean, if you look at the way they're running the game and look at some film how they ran it in Seattle, obviously you're a different coach. You have a different philosophy, you have a different scheme. We have seen time and time again that doesn't always mean much. You can take a star player from one team, put them somewhere else, and suddenly it just doesn't work the same. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it here in Philly. We've seen it leaving Philly, where players leave here. They're not the same elsewhere. They might be better. They might be worse. Different schemes work different places with different coaches. Nathaniel Hackett isn't a real coach. Shouldn't be in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't believe in anything he's done right. I mean, again, it's one of those things, and that's the same with Josh McDaniels. They both need to get fired. The AFC West, the only team right now that's not performing well that I can accept is the Chargers, because their injury list is as bad as the Eagles has been for years. How many years have we been like, oh, you can't blame injuries? And we're like, well, our IR list is 5 teams long, but sure, you know what? Right. You're right. Let's not blame injuries. Let's still go win the Super Bowl. That's what the Chargers look like right now. You look at the Chiefs. There's like no injuries. The Raiders, no real injuries. Oh, I guess Darren Waller's hurt now, but wasn't.
But it's a case right there that injuries really can just destroy a team. We've seen it so many times.
But you've got 2 teams here who shouldn't. I mean, there's no reason for the Raiders and Broncos to not have a winning record right now. They have way too much talent on those teams. I'm beyond at a loss for words for how those two are performing. And to me, it's it has to be coaching. You don't take Raiders had 10 wins last season?
Yeah, they had a playoff win, I think, too.
Mm-hmm. And now they can't win a game? Oh, they have one win?
And because of those 2 teams and other teams that are having down years, that's another reason people will say, well, Eagles are undefeated because it's a down year for the NFL. Stats are down. Teams who are supposed to be good, like the Packers, the Bucks, the Raiders, they're all down. It's all down years. That's why the Eagles are in the situation that they're in. And I say to you, prove it. Put it. Then how come the Eagles? If the Eagles can go undefeated, is there going to be an asterisk next to their name? It's like, oh, they had an easy schedule. No, they're just going to say, oh, they were undefeated. That's all it's going to say. That's all it's going to say.
Yeah. Just to circle around to the coaching point that that Mark was making. Mark, Frank Wright got released from the Indianapolis Colts.
Saw
Do you
that.
think that that bringing in Reich would help or hurt the Eagles?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
Why?
rock the boat.
Why?
Don't because man, if you're going along, okay, if you're out in the ocean on your boat, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in a race, okay, you're in a race on these boats, and you see one boat near you catch fire, and people are jumping off, okay, the race has a rescue team. There's medical, there's rescue. You might know someone on there. That's what the rescue team's for. They'll go take care of them. We don't stop our boat to go pick up the rest, to go pick up the burning man jumped off the boat. It's not our job. You don't rock the boat. We don't stop what we're doing to go pick up something that's, a different story. If you want to bring him in the off season, if he's still available in the off season, you want to talk to him, bring him in, maybe, see how that works. Maybe fine. And you guys know how I feel about our offense right now. I've been saying it all season. We're way too much in the second quarter. Finally, we're starting to score every quarter. I'd like to see that continue. I don't want to change things right now. We're doing well with what we have. We haven't lost. Why change it?
You wouldn't want his Super Bowl run experience to kind of guide Sirianni through these playoffs?
Because they are close. Sirianni and him are close.
Yeah, they are
And
friends.
I get that. But I have seen one thing I do know is that I remember listening to a lot of the talk between Nick Foles, Carson Wentz about the Super Bowl run. Nick Foles and Carson Wentz are both men. They're very deep in their faith. No problem. Wentz spoke highly of Reich's belief in his faith and how that kind of brought them really close together. And that's fine. I have no problem with someone being all about their faith. That's great. And maybe I don't know much. Maybe I don't know as much about Sirianni. I feel like Sirianni's church is the Lincoln Financial Center. Okay, that field, Lincoln Financial Field, that's his church. Okay, right now, when you see him on that sideline, that's his church. The mentality that Sirianni's bringing right now to the league, to the games every single week, is a mentality that's been built this season. Frank Reich has just come through a losing season. That mentality is full of doubt, questions. Nothing's gone their way. Now he's been fired. Yes, he could join and be possibly helpful, but there's too much possible baggage to risk it right now. Let him sit. Let him think. Teams might not hire him off rip, and that's okay. That's what the offseason's for. I'm sure he's financially well off. He's fine. If Sirianni wants to talk to him, Sirianni can talk to him, but I'm just as an Eagles fan, they should wait. Right now, we're doing great. I think another thing is you don't always keep the same structure and path that you learned from people before. Look at how many coaches have come from Bill Belichick and not been successful.
Right.
You don't always have that success.
All of them.
Okay. People, I was with everyone questioning who the is Sirianni. Why are we getting this guy Sirianni? Now I see him on the sidelines. I'm like, okay, he's embodying Philadelphia. He has come in. He has listened. Last year, run the ball. My buddies were at the game against Kansas City. Run the ball. They said you could hear on TV. The crowd was yelling it. Sirianni listened. Now we're running the ball more than ever, all the time. We've done it all season. We're undefeated.
Love it.
He's living that life. He's listening to the fans. He's getting into it. He's working this team the way it needs to be worked. Don't rock the boat. It's not worth it.
I agree. I would agree with you. Don't rock the boat. I think if anything, in a perfect world, I see Wright going and helping Peterson with Trevor Lawrence. That's what I see going. The Jaguars probably need the help more than anything. Right, Miguel? Right, Miguel?
Yeah, we do. We need,
he might go there.
All hands on deck.
I was going to help.
Yeah, it's so funny how that would turn out. We're joking about the Jaguars, but that really is like a legitimate thing. Like he could go to the Jaguars and help Doug Peterson. That's
totally.
They work together, right? Makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Yeah,
it could. Or he could just enjoy watching football for the rest of the year and talk to someone in the off season.
Yeah, that too.
That too. There's a lot of places he could go. There's a lot of teams that could use that quarterback help. I think, hey, you know what? if I was Denver, I'd probably talk to Frank Reich. If I
There's
was
two
the
teams we
Raiders,
talk a lot about. We talk a lot about the Jaguars and the Broncos. We
well,
talk
Russell
a lot
Wilson
about
makes
them.
everyone talk about the Broncos. The
Yeah.
Broncos make everyone talk about the Broncos. Like, hey, you know what? We're going to take this guy and make him our poster. And the rest of the league was like, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, but like we'll put them on every single primetime game in the first 6 weeks. That's
That's why Amazon's trying to buy Washington.
which
Hey,
I
we're
hope
not
they
gonna-
do. I hope they do.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want this team on Thursday.
I hope they do, and I hope they change the name.
I hope they do too. They
I
need a
don't think they
whole new
will.
rebranding. They need a whole new branding. They
I
just
agree
gotta
that they
be-
need it. I don't think the NFL will allow them to change their name again.
I think they will. I think
Jeff
Jeff,
Bezos gave them enough money for Thursday Night Football. I think they'll let him do it.
yeah, because Bezos right now. The reason why Daniel Snyder's selling that team, not only because of the shit that he's got into with the FBI right now and all that, the whole sex scandal and stuff like that. They won't let that man build a stadium anywhere in the DC area. Like, they will not grant him any where Jeff Bezos can spend the $7 billion to buy the team and drop another $2 billion to build a freaking stadium out of his own pocket and not even think twice about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
hope
feel
they
like
do. I hope it happens. I hope it.
I
does.
hope the NFL will.
I
allow
saw
him.
Jay-Z wants to be part of it too.
Yeah, it's
Really?
Jay-Z, Matthew McConaughey, and Jeff
Yeah,
Bezos.
but didn't Jay-Z do something about like Brooklyn with the Nets? And didn't that kind of flounder?
He sold his ownership in there because he went into
Because it wasn't working.
no, he was doing sports agency. He opened up his own sports agency.
Yeah, this is kind of conflict of interest.
Right. So he had to sell his shares. That's why he did that. But he's always wanted to be in NFL. He's right now in charge of like the Super Bowl halftime show the last 3 years, I believe. So
Okay, last year's Super Bowl halftime show was great.
yeah. So he's been involved with the NFL. He's been trying to get his foot in the door. Last I heard, he was trying to buy the Denver team before they were sold. So now I'm
Walmart.
guessing he's sticking. Yeah. And now he's sticking his foot in Washington, which is kind of funny because he's a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Yes.
It's
I'll be
interesting that
honest.
he's doing the Redskins.
I'm not a fan of these corporations buying these teams. I mean, I
Yeah.
see it here in Philly with the Flyers. Comcast bought them,
Oh, they destroyed them.
and it just hasn't. I mean, this
But
year's
yet
looking better.
they're
Tortorella's
playing
doing
pretty good
something.
this year.
Tortorella's doing what he can, but I mean, it's been really mishandled before, like between the time of the sale until now.
Yeah.
Comcast has not done a good job. I'd love to see them bow out and sell the team. I'd like to see, a more hockey-focused owner. Walmart doesn't give a goddamn shit about football.
Right.
They're all the people who own it are now Australians. Not even I mean, if it was the Arkansas family, I'd be like, okay, they're Arkansas. They might really like football. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
They're Australian now. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. Very true.
They're not doing. They're not.
You know what else is driving me crazy? The way that they're changing these names to these stadiums and arenas is like,
Oh, it's terrible.
You used to know what stadium you're talking about, and it's just like you talk about Pittsburgh, like Three River Stadium or Heinz Field, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what stadium the Steelers currently play in?
No.
This is not Heinz Field anymore.
No,
No.
it's not.
Oh my god, what is it?
It's like some insurance company. I can't even name
Oh,
it right now.
really?
Like, yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
like when I was watching the primetime game with the Chiefs, and they said it's something at Arrowhead Stadium. I'm like, wait, what? What? It's
Right.
not called Arrowhead anymore? No, it's called.
Acrisure Stadium.
There you
There
go.
it is. There you go.
What the? Why?
Now, granted, go figure the Eagles play in Lincoln Financial Field, but it helps because we call it the Link, so it kind of like
Right.
it gets away from it. But what's the short
my
name for
God.
that? Like, I don't know.
PEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, see, it's
the
it's not a real stadium name anymore.
Yeah. If we were to sit here to play a game, hey, what stadium is this? You would be like,
Yeah, I used to be able to name all the stadiums. I used to name
Yeah.
all, but now even Mile High. It's not even Mile High Stadium. It's something at Mile High.
exactly.
I don't know what it is anymore. It's just
A lot
Oh,
of these
you do
stadiums.
still have Jerry's World.
Yeah.
But it used to be called Cowboy Stadium when it first opened. It was called Cowboy Stadium, and then the following year they changed it to AT&T Stadium.
Right.
Yeah, wow, big money, big money.
So speaking of that Washington Commanders team, they're going to be rolling into the Link this Monday night.
Yes.
I was looking forward to this game on the schedule because it was going to be Carson Wentz's return to the field that he helped bring the Super Bowl to. But he's not going to be there because of some torn ligaments in his hand or thumb. Surprisingly,
Carson Wentz injured?
The dude gets injured like no matter wherever he goes. The injury bug follows him. I swear.
My pinky.
Crazy.
So we're going to have Tyler Heineke at the helm of the Commanders, and if you followed our YouTube channel, the game was an interesting game. The Commanders put up 34 points on Eagles defense without Jordan Davis in the lineup.
Shocking. More like it, Mike. You're down. Shocking.
Yeah, it was very shocking. That's why I said earlier last week that I'm nervous about Tyler Heineke because I'm watching this Madden game. I'm like, this guy's picking him apart.
I told you guys weeks ago when Carson went out and Heineke jumped in, I said, listen, we're going to see a different Commanders team, and that's exactly what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Heineke offers a spark, and I think Darius Slay said it best in the interview the other day. He's like, any backup quarterback that comes in is going to spark something in those offenses. Sure. You know what I mean? Those guys believe in that backup quarterback, and they're going to play their hearts out for him. So that simulation, kind of worries me because they're going to play hard. They're going to play us hard. Washington, and this is the second game of the season. The second game of a divisional rivalry is always one of the hardest games. They've already seen what you did in the first game. Not too many adjustments are probably going to be made. It's going to be a chess match. It's going to be very interesting how this game is going to turn out.
I agree. Whenever it's a divisional game, everything goes out the window because it's always something different. It's always something new, and it's going to be entertaining, to say the least.
Right.
What do you? I know, Mark, you've got a few things to say about these Washington Commanders. Go ahead and tell us what you
played. 3 games?
Yeah.
3 games, 3 picks.
There we go.
3 games, 3 picks, and what were those teams against the Colts? Yeah, they're doing good. Packers, they're doing real good. Or no, he didn't play the Packers, did he? He played the Vikings.
No, they did. They did.
He did play the Packers.
They did play the Packers.
He threw a pick. He threw a pick there too. That's a good defense to throw a pick on. Yeah, I couldn't imagine what he'd play against a team with actual defense. Little cornerbacks and such, safeties. Gardner Johnson's about to have another day. I'm feeling it. No, overall, I'm sorry. I don't see it. There's no spark here. They just lost to the Vikings. It was a good game. They beat the Colts by 1. They beat the Packers by 2. The Packers have lost to everyone. I mean, I get it. They're the Packers. They're a great team every year. They've had a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't care. They haven't done it this year. So what happens? You guys want to talk about the Eagles getting disrespected? What about the overly abundance of respect for teams who? Does last year's performance matter this year? I don't think it does. How many weeks in were the Packers still a top 5 team? How many losses did they need to fall out of that? It blew my mind. Are we going to say, the Commanders beat them by 2? Let's put them a top 5 team? They're not. They're not.
It's not so much of what they did last year. It's that you expect Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers when you play him,
and
right?
You expect Tom Brady to be Tom Brady. Exactly. They're old. I expect them both to be old.
But it's hard to get out of the mentality when you've seen it for so long. So it's like, even though you see them playing bad and doing not having successful seasons, you still expect those guys to be top echelon of the league. And you go play them, you expect them to be a difficult play no matter what. So it's hard to not look at those schedules this year and say, damn, we're going to play Aaron Rodgers. That might be a loss. Or we're going to play Tom Brady. That might be a loss. Even considering
that preseason, preseason, I gave us a loss to the Packers because you never know. You never know.
Exactly.
Like, in the history of the NFL, was it? You've got 4 or 5 quarterbacks to make the Pro Bowl once they're 38 or older.
All right.
Like,
not too many.
You drop off. We watch it with Big Ben.
But those guys aren't Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers either. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, that's the thing. You're right. But Aaron Rodgers is 38, and he's not matching the quality of the other 38-year-olds.
Is he going to be a Pro Bowler this year? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Why would he be?
Right.
That Oscar was it
Well, you know what?
ayahuasca
No.
mushrooms took that away.
No, you know what? He might be. He might be because the NFL tends to do. They tend to do it by what? It's 3 per division, except for the Super Bowl contenders, usually, right?
Yeah. If you're in the
So-
Super Bowl, you get notice that you're in a Pro Bowl, but you're not.
Yeah, but you're not given that pass. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's say, for instance, let's just give it, Eagles and Bills, Eagles and Chiefs. Let's say Eagles and Chiefs, Eagles, Bills, either way. All right. So let's say, so obviously Jalen Hurts can't be in the Pro Bowl, and either Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes can't be in the Pro Bowl. So you're going to look at other NFC quarterbacks. I'm looking down the list right now. The only ones even on the list with Hurts,
Kirk
at
Cousins.
the top, that is. No, at the top, Murray, Rodgers, Geno Smith are the only other NFC quarterbacks at the top.
Wow. So then he makes the Pro Bowl.
So he still makes Pro Bowl. And if you don't
Wow.
think he's going to get votes in over Kyler Murray's year,
Right.
come on. And then below that, Jared Goff.
Right.
Jared Goff's not going to get the votes. Matt Ryan's not going to get the votes after how he's played. And then Kirk Cousins. And maybe Kirk gets some votes. Kirk might make it in. But I think if you were to end it today, Pro Bowl is going to be Geno, Aaron Rodgers, and then like I said, we'll see how Kyler. I mean, Kyler's doing better. He's got DeAndre back. We'll see how he does. But
I
if
don't
he
know.
keeps up, maybe Kyler gets it.
Warzone comes out this Thursday, so
It's already out.
Call of
Warzone.
Duty,
Oh, no,
Call of
you're
Duty's
right,
been
you're right,
out,
you're
but
right.
Warzone comes out.
Warzone
This
comes
week,
out. Yeah, we'll
so
see how that changes things for
probably
him.
downhill from here for him.
We'll see. We'll see. Hey, maybe he realized that he can play a game another day and decided to play a little football this season. I don't know. We'll find out. All I'm saying, there's a chance he makes the Pro Bowl. I personally don't see it. I mean, I guess he is still making some decent yards out of it. But no, I'm looking at it saying it's just, I don't know, man. I looked at these quarterbacks and I was honestly kind of surprised how Brady did last year. This year coming into it, I figure he's got to. I understand he wants to play forever, and there's one thing I won't take from him. I have to admire that attitude. I admire his moxie, his gut to keep playing. Don't admire throwing away his family and relationship with that, but that's a different story. Just for his approach to, I want to play. I want to continue this. I get it. I watch our local high school team. I heard last night they just won again, a second playoff win in a row. They're doing phenomenal. My same school I went to, we didn't do shit. We were one of the worst high
Who
school
won?
teams.
Who won last night? West.
Yeah, they beat
Oh,
North
wow.
Penn
Oh wow.
after beating East for the second time last week.
Wow.
So I mean, they're on a roll. They're looking great. I can't tell you I don't wish I could be a part of that. I miss playing football. I can't believe I'm 30 already. I would love to go back, change my life a little bit, not quit football my senior year of high school and keep playing. That's how it is. So I understand Brady's love to keep playing. I get it.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
get
mean
it.
you're going to be good every year. This year's been rough. Hey, if it's mental for him and he gets back to it, fine. But let's be honest. Brady has the mentality going into it that Kobe did in basketball. He's going to continuously try to work harder than you. I don't see that with Rodgers. You don't see Brady hosting game shows. You don't see Brady, on podcasts every week doing this. We hear about Brady this year. Brady's in the news this year. Besides this, when is he in the news? For winning too many Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Come on, that's the only time I've ever heard about Brady my whole life. He won the Super Bowl. He was in the Super Bowl. That's all it was. It was like, all right, I don't want to hear any more about Brady.
No,
But-
you only knew that he won a Super Bowl and he was married to a supermodel. That's the
True.
only thing you knew about.
But that's all you ever heard about.
Yeah.
Now
that's
we're
also-
hearing all this. Now we're hearing all this, and it's like, okay, well, this happened. This is a rough year. Rodgers, for years, don't get me wrong, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Not going to argue that. But I mean, you've heard now for 2-3 seasons he's unhappy with the team. He's gone on a podcast bullshitting with this. Doesn't like the coach. Doesn't like the. It's like I don't hear anything about you making it better. They talk about the rookie players came in. He wouldn't be there to meet with them. Didn't want to go over extra time with them. That's not a winning mentality. This season has proven that.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's almost like now we see why he dropped so far in the draft. His personality is now coming out, and maybe this is why he dropped so far in the draft, and the Packers got him where they got him. That could be it. That could be it.
California. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just
So,
go
Washington
ahead.
Commander. Back to the Washington Commanders. I think they have. I think
Young.
Chase Young is back this week. He should be back in the
Is he?
lineup. I think so.
I remember a guy named Micah Parsons being in the lineup against us. Have you guys seen the votes right now? They say, like, so I watched all the thing, all the little updates of like, if the season ended now, what would happen? Season ended. The voting, I don't know if you guys seen it. The voting for each award is listed. Micah Parsons has 98% of the vote for Defensive Player of the Year. He is so far ahead of everyone else, it's not even close.
Wow.
How many sacks did he have?
None.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do when they go down to Dallas Christmas Eve. That's going to be a fun game. I'm like, not only that fact that it's Christmas Eve and it's in Dallas, and the Eagles are going to be undefeated going in there because remember I know we talked about last week how the Tennessee was going to be a problem. I watched the Tennessee game and they threw the ball I think 10 times and they lost. They lost in overtime. I think Tennessee's not good.
Well,
Tennessee is not good.
They're starting Tannehill today.
Yeah, because Malik Willis I thought was going to be a phenom, and I thought he did not look good. He did not look good.
Just 2 hours ago, Jack Del Rio said that looks like he said Young is not back to full speed and don't expect him to play this week.
Okay.
No Chase Young. No Chase Young?
Well, Rivera says yes. The D coordinator says no. So that's...
Yeah, so,
it's Washington. What do you expect?
It's, I'm not... If he's in the lineup, I want to make sure that he's being taken care of because he's definitely a high-quality player, for sure. I'd love to have him on our team, Chase Young. But again, I think the injury bug might be following that dude around, too. He seems to get injured quite a bit as well.
Yeah, it seems to happen. It seems to pick some players.
Yeah. So this week, the Eagles are coming off of a longer, like a mini bye, like we talked about. They're going to be well rested. They know their game plan. I think they really are starting to execute their game plan and really just impose their will on the opposing team. No matter who's in front of them, they're just imposing their will. Run the ball, pass it. Nobody, And it's also like next man is up. So if AJ Brown's not getting the passes, well, Javonte will get it. Oh, he can't. Then there's Goddard. Oh, he can't. Then there's Quez Watkins. There seems to be somebody out there who's going to be putting up a lot of numbers for the Eagles, and then I can't wait to see who it is this week.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking at it now. Maybe Heineke's a small spark that you mentioned. And I will say, looking at defensive line, Washington's had a pretty good run with their defensive line recently, even without Young. But they're 27th in passing defense, 26th in scoring defense. And I think it's 20th in rushing. I think it's 20th. I'll double check that.
I mean, they do have two good running backs, though. Their running backs are pretty good. Pretty solid.
Or they're 20th in
Gibson,
passing
Gibson,
offense.
right?
I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. They're also 26th in the turnover department. That's weird. I don't know who's a good team at the turnover department again. That's a see that top there.
I was in the grocery store the other day, and I ran into a Washington Commanders fan that I knew.
Wait,
and
what?
They
exist?
They exist. And they were telling me how they're not the season's pretty much done for them. That they want Bezos to buy the team. They can't wait for them to sell because they're like in purgatory. They're just in limbo. They don't know what they're doing. They're just a disaster. They're a disaster.
I believe for you.
Mm-hmm. I believe this team is going to be distracted. That's all I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, Miguel. This team, they're distracted with the fact that they're being investigated by the FBI. They're up for sale.
But wait! Did you hear the good one though? When the I forget, was the FBI secretary that came out saying that they were going to sue the Commanders and Daniel Snyder. The Commanders tried to throw in Robertson, the guy that got shot. They were trying to throw. They were saying that. That's the reason they were being investigated because he got shot and a whole bunch of other things. So
that's why. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mark. You were about to say something. We cut you off.
No, you're good. You're always feel free. No, I was just saying. If the Commanders continue to lose, which they might, obviously I think they will tomorrow. But I mean, overall, the rest of their season, Carson Wentz is injured. Okay, we know that. He'll come back. Just a smaller injury this year. It's not another ACL. Heineke, for as much people want to talk about him, like I said, 3 games, 3 picks. He's Cooper Rush 2.0, to be honest, in my opinion. Looks good for now, but isn't really your answer. Does Washington draft a quarterback?
Yes.
Or do they trust Wentz again?
No. Wentz is done as a starting quarterback in this league.
But if that's how you feel, then don't you almost want to lose so you get one of the top quarterbacks? I mean, if you win a few more games, you're not going to be a top 10 pick.
I don't think Carson Wentz is even on this team next year, to be honest with you.
Quite possibly. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm that team, if that's the path they want to go. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they believe in Heineke, but I just don't see it.
They don't believe in Heineke because if they did, he would have started over Carson Wentz in the beginning. They don't. They believe in him now because they need him.
Well, I mean, I don't have so much as belief. It's just like we have nothing better. It happens.
I don't think I think if the sale goes through, I don't think anybody. Besides their blue chip players are the only things that remain on this team. I think the coaching staff gets tossed out.
I can see Rivera getting fired.
Yeah, I think Carson's out of here. I think you'll see a whole new, fresh Washington team, whatever they're going to be called, the following year.
Red Wolves or something.
The Washington. How about a crazy thought? Crazy
delivery drivers.
Washington football team.
I love Washington football team. I like that.
I hated it when the first game, but now
I love it now.
It's better than Commanders.
It's better than Commanders.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, Washington politics, maybe.
Politics.
They just have their emblem be a tick and just a bunch of them on their helmet. I don't know. Overall, though, like, I don't know, I'm looking at the teams, just like they could fire Rivera. I think McDaniel's got to go in the Raiders, and Hackett's got to go in Denver. I think there could be a lot of coaching. Blake just got fired. A lot of shakeup in the next year.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about.
But the Eagles are going to get a win, if that's what you're wondering.
So yeah, we can do our predictions. If you want to go, Miguel, what's your prediction of this Eagles Monday Night Football game against the Washington football team?
Well, I think it's going to be. I hope it's not as close as that Madden simulation. I really don't want to see that. But I think it'll be an interesting game. I feel like it'll be. I'm gonna say 24-21 type Eagles win.
Wow, that's a close game still.
Right.
It's still a close. That's a 3-point game.
I think it's gonna be just about in there somewhere.
Yeah. Points.
I think it'll be a close game. I think we'll run the ball a lot more this week, being that we passed a lot the week prior. But I still think A.J. Brown still gets his touchdowns in. I think our defense dominates, but it's gonna be close. Like I said, Heineke he's not. I won't say he's better than Carson, but right now he's playing at a better clip than Carson. So, just for that feeling, I just don't see us having one of those blowout games today. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Right. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, no, I think Heineke's going to have a lot of really good completions to Slay, Bradbury this week. Maybe one to Edwards or White. I don't know. He's going to be throwing it all over the place. And I'm thinking 31-13 for Birds. I'm thinking, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. I'm thinking a touchdown, maybe 2 field goals for the Commanders. Yes, they've got some decent running. They got some above average running backs, and we are short Jordan Davis. I think Heineke throws at least 2 picks. I think Devonta gets into the end zone this week.
I can see that.
I'm thinking Hurts gets a running touchdown this week.
I can see that.
I'm definitely saying, you know what? For everyone I just mentioned about the picks, Johnson's getting a pick. Gardner Johnson's getting another pick.
Number 6.
He gets one. The others, I'm just throwing names out there, but he gets one. I don't care. The rest were just me talking at my backside. He gets one. Gardner Johnson's going for 6 this week. And you know what? He's going 6 for 6. He's taking that 6 to the house.
Oh.
And that right here.
Wow.
So,
all right.
That's my prediction. 31-13. Eagles come home with the win. Heineke, you know what, Heineke? I feel like I'm getting Kirk Cousins vibes from Heineke. Get Kirk Cousins vibes. Let's get that prime time Kirk Cousins vibe going on.
And the fact that Kirk Cousins did play for the Commanders.
Kirk Cousins.
That's good.
You want the
Exactly.
how you like that?
Hey, like that, Kirk
Exactly.
Cousins.
How you like that?
Yeah, we're moving on. We're getting some good times here. I think the Eagles got this.
Yeah, I agree. Again, every single week we have said the Eagles are going to win a game, and we're not, except for Miguel,
Yeah.
we're not all trying to
True.
be,
The only one that keeps it real here.
we're not trying to be, homers here. Philly Eagles always undefeated no matter what, but.
Right.
It's really hard to say that it's hard for me to say that the Commanders are actually going to beat the Eagles this week.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, I think if the Eagles are going to roll over them 38-17, I think there's going to be a lot of picks. I think there could be a lot of sacks, and if there's a lot of sacks, there's going to be a lot of picks because he's going to be throwing that ball quick, and Bradbury and Slay are just going to, and Gardner Johnson, I think has been one of the best pickups that Howie has done, and he's going to prove it again this week too. I wanted to talk about that before the Eagles traded for Gardner Johnson, they called Malcolm Jenkins, who played next to him down in New Orleans, and the quote that he gave was he gave him a quote. It said that a lot of people judge him by his cover, and that it's like he's a secret weapon, and that he's on the sidelines mouthing and jawing off, but he's the secret weapon out there. And with that vote of confidence, that's what made Howie go get C.J. Gardner Johnson. Thank you, Malcolm Jenkins.
Yes, thank you, Malcolm.
Do it.
And isn't that great that he would follow Jenkins in the same backfield, only about a year or two removed.
Though he's got that attitude too. Like you're saying, like a lot of people, and that's like when he came here, I was like, well, he's kind of mouthy.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen anything like that? I haven't seen it.
But what city are we in?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are we reserved and quiet? Are we? Hey guys, good game. Thanks for coming by.
He's the perfect fit for Philly. He's a perfect fit.
Yeah, I agree.
We're here. We're the birds.
Nope.
We got this. Let's do this.
So yeah, the Eagles continue their streak of nine in a row, and I think this would be Jalen Hurts' 11th game in a row of being a regular season undefeated. Pretty sure it's 10 or 11 now.
I think it's over that, right?
That'd be 11. Yeah.
That would be 12.
11?
11? That might be 12.
I think it was 10 last week.
Maybe.
What isn't including last season? Isn't Jalen Hurts on a 10-game winning streak?
Yeah, so this
That's what
would be
you're saying.
number 11. This would be number 11. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you did say that. Yeah.
Yep. So Eagles go to 9-0. Another win on prime time. Again, this is back-to-back weeks in prime time, right? Thursday night and then Monday night. This is going to be this is the Eagles showing the world that well, fine, we have the easy schedule, but look at this, look at the potent offense that we have. Like you
Potent
can't
offense,
stop it.
potent defense. I mean, yeah, we let a little up against the Texans, but our defense, they do what they need to do. It's not as pretty as we'd like it to be. Granted, 12 takeaway differential is really nice to me, but I will say that, and that's the part that's kind of a hit or miss for us right now. Like I get angry every game watching our guys arm tackle. It drives me insane.
Right, you did say that.
But we do have 12 takeaway differential.
Yeah.
I would like to see us kind of square up and hit some people more. I'd like to see some bigger hits, just lock them up, especially in the backfield. Just bring them down. In the open field, I really don't like when you do that. But like if it's in the backfield, yeah, we want the ball. But if you go from first and 10 to second and 17 versus second and 11, give me the 17. Don't go for the ball then. Bring them down. Just stop it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people had this game as a trap game for us today. So, I mean, for Monday night. So it's gonna be.
I think it would have been Miguel if Carson was playing. I think it would have been a trap game because there would have been a lot of emotions out there. The Boo Birds would have been out.
Maybe if we didn't play the Texans the way we did. If we had a high performance game this past week, let's say we had just played the Cowboys, or maybe we had just played the Giants, we played the Cowboys next week kind of thing, I agree. Definitely would have been a trap game. But who do we play the week after this?
Colts.
Are we looking forward? Like, is anyone overly concerned about that right now? That's not a game we got to look ahead to. We're not
No.
looking ahead to anyone. We're focused Monday night, prime time Kirk Cousins 2.0.
I think the reason they only said that is because we had the 11 games off, or 11 days off. You know what I mean? So they're
11 game win streak. What?
Yeah, that's it.
We're going for it. Let's keep going. Let's
Yeah,
keep
I'm happy. I'm
rolling.
happy with this. This week is going to be another good Eagles win.
Yeah,
So enjoy the game, Mark. Enjoy the game. Drive safe. Enjoy.
Thank you.
See if you can send us some messages when you're there. I know it'll be hard. Miguel lost his voice when he was there, so
Yep.
and we'll and enjoy the game and enjoy your Sunday game too, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Have a good one, guys.
Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
EAGLES.